Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no. It was really crazy here this morning. There were cops going, fire trucks, ambulances. This has been a regular occurrence in my life. It seems like every time I record a video or just before I jump on this podcast, there is a zombie apocalypse breaking out. I moved home on this island over 15 years ago. I haven't regretted it since. And I think that when you take the water away and your ability to see the night sky and the equal balance between daylight and nighttime, you don't really understand how fortunate you are until it's taken away from you. And I spent 15 months in the Yukon and couldn't see an equal balance of daylight and nighttime. And it really emotionally affected me. And I remember the first time that I saw the ocean for the first time in 15 years, and I cried. I really cried. There's just something about living here on this island. I live in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, so it's kind of like living through Jurassic Park, Oregon, kind of from Descendants. But it is really beautiful here, and there is no place in the world I would rather want to produce this podcast, because there have been a lot of places in my lifetime where I have not wanted to be. I have not wanted to be around certain people, but I've always wanted to create a show for you that you would love so much. And I like to believe that I did that through the power of Descendants of Zombies, which is a franchise that has brought us all together. I am really excited for the future of Descendants 5. I think that Descendants 5 is going to be a beautiful movie. I really do. And I think that we all have something to be excited about. I think that it is something that we are going to draw inspiration from. We are all going to feel inspired by. And that's all I've ever wanted to do. I've wanted to talk about something that you would all love. I wanted to talk about something that you would all subscribe to this YouTube channel because of. And I like to believe that I did that. I first watched Descendants in 2015. I thought it was a beautiful movie. You gotta believe me, I thought it was a beautiful movie. The song Rotten to the Core was extraordinarily special. If only it was a song that really put life into perspective for me. And I know a lot of people will just rank the songs when it comes to the Descendants franchise. You know, this is your favorite song from Descendants, this is why. But they just rank the songs and they leave it at that. I think that if you're ranking songs, you should at least explain the reason behind why you chose that song as your favorite song off of the soundtrack of Descendants. I remember how powerful of a movie this was. It received over 10 million reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. 10 million reviews. I remember seeing the number of reviews that Descendants first had, and I was blown away by it. I was wondering if Descendants was going to live up to the expectations of everybody, and I was reading all these reviews. I couldn't read them all. There were that many reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. I had written a number of reviews about Descendants for a number of different websites, and you got to take it from a guy who actually understands Descendants better than anybody on YouTube, and who loves someone like Kylie Cantrell more than anybody else on YouTube, because I really do love Kylie. I thought she was a beautiful girl with such a bright future ahead for her. I remember the year she was born. It was 2005. I had been covering professional wrestling for over 20 years by the time 2005 happened. And I remember her dad being really supportive of her, being really proud that he was her dad, and he was just blown away by her. And as the years passed, Kylie Cantrell would learn more, she would become stronger, she would become fearless, and she would represent herself by just not caring what anybody thought of her. And for a great deal of time, Kylie never did care about what anybody thought of her. And I thought that to be really miraculous about Kylie Cantrell, because a lot of people would have cared what their opinion was of somebody, but she never. And I remember her sitting on her bed reviewing shows like Victorious, iCarly, which I was a huge fan of. And I think she was destined for greatness. She really was. Why she's being criticized, I have no idea. But I just wanted to put a stop to Kylie Cantrell's tears. I wanted to stop her from crying. I wanted her to feel safe Googling herself. You really have to put yourself in the position that Kylie Cantrell is in. I mean, everybody knows who she is. Everybody knows that she's incredibly talented. She's extraordinarily beautiful. She is fearless. She is strong. She has every quality that a girl could possess wrapped up into one. And I think that Kylie Cantrell does not deserve to be criticized as much as what she is. I know that she was involved in this really outrageous relationship just last year, and my heart really does go out to Kylie Cantrell for that. And my heart also goes out to Ruby Rose Turner for just putting this friendship she has with Kylie on display ever since the age of 9 years old. When they would sit at home, they would watch Descendants, and they would only dream one could only have dreamed of being a part of this beautiful franchise. So I think that that's where a lot of the criticism comes from. You know, they had opportunities and chances that weren't allocated to other people, and they made the most of every opportunity they got. Especially Ruby, because I mean, Ruby just became so strong, so fearless. I was just watching a video of Ruby actually before I jumped on this podcast, and every time Ruby provides us with PR and a look into what she's doing in the way of a project or a movie or a TV series, she's just so happy to be there. She's just so happy to promote it, and Ruby just glows. The thing about Ruby is Ruby just glows. She is just always happy all the time. She's never upset. She never seems frustrated. I don't know what it's like off camera for Ruby. I would have to be a producer or a writer to experience that and tell you about it firsthand. But I think that Ruby is just someone who is just genuinely happy and genuinely kind to be around people. And I think the world needs more people like Ruby in it. I'm really honored to know that a girl like Ruby exists in this world. I have no idea where Ruby is in the world tonight. I don't know if Ruby is listening to my voice this morning, but the thing is, every night that I close my eyes and I open them every morning, I wonder what Ruby is doing, because I'm just so honored to be in a world with someone like Ruby in it, because she helps me make sense of my own life, and Kylie's helped me make sense of my own life for what feels like forever. I just wish more guys would put into perspective just how valuable a girl's opinion is, and would take an opinion of a girl for what it's worth and just listen to girls more than what they do. Because here's the thing, don't ever let a guy get the better of you. If I can get away with saying that and offering you any bit of advice, don't ever let a guy get the better of you and tell you what your worth is. Because you are strong, you are fearless, you are here in the world to help us make sense of things that we can't. And I think your opinion should be more valued and worth more than what a guy usually puts it out there for being. Because honestly, I don't know where I'd be without each and every one of you. While I can't speak for him, I can speak for myself, and I can honestly tell you that I don't know where I'd be without each and every one of you. I really don't. You help me make sense of life. You are so kind. You are incredibly supportive. Years ago, when I used to shoot videos out of my parents' basement, I had no idea that anyone was going to hear my voice. I didn't even know if my podcast was going to take off. But because of you watching my videos, clicking on my thumbnails, being incredibly supportive ever since 2009, this show has exploded in popularity. For the life of me, I don't know why it has exploded in popularity, but it has become one of the most popular Descendants and Zombies themed YouTube channels on the internet, and I can't thank you enough for that. I know I create a lot of videos about Ruby Rose Turner, but I do that because Ruby was my favorite Descendants character. I don't think any Descendants character portrayed an image or a message, conveyed a message as powerfully as what Ruby did. And Ruby really put a lot of heart and dedication into that character. I mean, take for instance how small Ruby was at 12 years old. Ruby was this little tiny thing with a voice that she didn't think anybody was going to hear. But through the power of songs like Ruby Rock and Mirror, she was able to put herself out there, her voice out there in a way that she eventually became a member of the Descendants cast, and her voice was heard on the Descendants soundtrack for the song Life is Sweeter When You Are. There was just something about Ruby's voice being on that soundtrack that was incredibly fearless, incredibly beautiful, and I've loved that song Life is Sweeter When You Are ever since. I'm surprised I haven't got a noise complaint from one of my neighbors, because I play that song every morning. It's either on my Bluetooth speaker or it's played in my head constantly on repeat, because Ruby is just fearless. And the thing about Ruby is, too, Ruby was so small, and then eventually what happened with Ruby is Ruby just started lifting weights more and became stronger. I mean, Ruby is so much stronger than what she is now. So I think that not only is she inspiring people that dreams can come true, but she's also inspiring people to become stronger. And I like to believe that people are subscribing to this YouTube channel because they feel stronger because of Descendants, because of how it inspired people to be better people, really, and to be there for others. Because I've always believed that, you know, we're put here on this earth to help each other. We're put here on this earth to help each other make sense of what we may be going through. And I like to believe that the stars of Descendants have done a fabulous job allocating that and putting that out there for a lot of people to really help make sense of their own life, because I know a lot of people may be going through stuff that they're really scared about. They don't know what's going to become of a certain situation, and I just want you to know, whatever you may be going through, this show will always and forever be here for each and every one of you, because honestly, I never thought this show would see 100 subscribers, much less 3,000 subscribers, and every day my subscribers are going up. I love when I see my subscriber count going up, because it means that someone out there loves these videos, because you wouldn't subscribe if you didn't love the videos. And I know I talk about a lot of crazy things. Like yesterday I talked about jumping the Grand Canyon like Evel Knievel back in 1958. And Not to say that I wouldn't do that, but I say things like that to really make the videos jump out at you, because no other podcast host that talks about Descendants or zombies would even think about or contemplate jumping the Grand Canyon like it was over 70 years ago. I don't even think Evel Knievel, come to think of it, even jumped the Grand Canyon. I think he tried to attempt it before he was stopped. And then I know I talk about living near a soda plantation and a chemical plant that could explode. The funny thing about that story is I actually do live near a soda plantation and a chemical plant that could explode. I've never actually snapped a picture of it for you guys, but I know that I do live near a soda plantation and a chemical plant that could explode. And for some reason, I've achieved worldwide popularity for talking about wanting to vertical suplex Kylie Control's man and really putting that out there. I say that because for the life of me, I don't know how people like Ryan McCartan and Dove Cameron and Kylie Control and her boyfriend have lasted for as long as they have. And then all of a sudden everything just started, going out more public about how Kylie Control was being treated in her relationship, how Dove Cameron and Ryan McCartan weren't seeing eye to eye. And I was reading a lot of emails that people were sending me wanting me to profile Dove Cameron and Ryan McCartan's relationship, I guess because a lot of people thought that I could probably help them make sense of why this was happening, because of course the show Liv and Maddie was at the heights of its popularity and Descendants was coming out, and Ryan McCartan was supposed to have been Harry Hook in that movie, and I just want to put it out there that I think it was a great decision to remove him from the cast of Descendants and replace him with Thomas Doherty. Not that Thomas Doherty was a better person than what Ryan McCartan was, but I think that if the relationship of Dove Cameron and Ryan McCartan would have been put out there when Descendants was at the heights of its popularity, I really don't know if Descendants would have ever gotten off the ground and became the success that it was, because a lot of people would have just probably never watched it because they would have seen how Ryan McCartan was treating Dove Cameron. And I know for a fact that I probably wouldn't have been supportive of Descendants if I would have known what was happening back then, because it was all covered up before it came out in the public eye. And, the thing about Ryan McCartan and Dove Cameron's relationship was everything just seemed so perfect. Dove Cameron always had a smile on her face. And I spoke about how you really had to put yourself in the position of Ruby Rose Turner and Kylie Control and think about the pressure they must be under, portraying these characters like Bridget and Red and Mila Baker portraying Chloe Charming and just having to make everything seem so perfect. I've often wondered, is everything really perfect when the camera is turned off for these Descendant stars, and how much pressure are they under? It must be a considerable amount. I don't even know if I would be able to handle that amount of pressure. I think I would be able to do it because I know that I have the responsibility of creating a great performance for you, putting off a great performance and putting off a great production. I think that my position with this would more preferably be a writer or a producer or a director with this, because I know how to bring Descendants to life. To really want to be a part of this, you have to have a greater appreciation for this than some people do. I think that people like Kenny Ortega and Jennifer Fang and Kimmy Gatewood, who produced this, just came on board because they just wanted to produce a movie, because they hadn't produced a movie in what felt like forever. I mean, what was the last project that Kenny Ortega did? It had to have been all the way back to when Hannah Montana and the Jonas Brothers were at the heights of their popularity. And by the way, I am really happy that Miley Cyrus is coming back for a Hannah Montana reunion tour. I know it's a long time coming, but just next year we'll commemorate 20 years of Hannah Montana, and I'm really excited to see where we go from here. And I think that these directors just come in to do something because they hadn't been heard from for a long time. They had become legends because of stuff like High School Musical and Hannah Montana, so they're just doing it for the sake of doing it. I think that if you're going to be a writer and producer of a movie, you have to go in with the open heart and open mind and the thought of creating something special for somebody. I think I would do this with an open heart and an open mind and just really want to create something special for people, because I know how much it means to you and I know how much it means to families. I mean, how many families out there have watched every single Descendants movie back to back to back to back to back? Everybody's watched it. I mean, you can't tell me that you haven't experienced a moment watching Descendants where you've thought about your own life and reflected back on some of the choices you've made, some choices you perhaps have regretted, and if you had possession of a pocket watch, you'd probably go back in time and fix some of your mistakes. I will admit to a lot of you that I think I would go back in time and spend more time with the people that I've loved, because I never really had the opportunity to do that. I never had the opportunity to say goodbye to a lot of my family members, and I think that if I was in possession of a pocket watch, I think I would do that. I think I would pull a Phineas and Ferb and go back in time just to tell the people that I love in my life that I love them more. But I know that I have a lot of support. I know that I have a lot of wonderful people who watch this show, and that's what keeps me going every day to create these videos for you, and really gives me incentive to create something special for you. And I love to believe that I do that. I love creating these Descendants and Zombies videos for you in a way that nobody else ever does. I love talking about my experiences in theater. I love talking about stories about how I fell down to the stage one night producing Phantom of the Opera. That was a really frightening experience, but that did happen to me. And I love talking about how I studied the book Dracula, which I did in high school, producing shows like Romeo and Juliet and Hamlet and Midnight Summer's Dream, which was always fun. I really believe that if you are going out there to be a writer, producer, director, or an actor or an actress, you really have to give it 110%, and you really have to bring your A game. You really got to show up, because the audience is either going to love you or they're going to hate you. And I think that every member of the Descendants cast was somebody that everybody just loved. Everybody just loved them instantly. I mean, everybody just fell in love with Dove Cameron because Dove Cameron was just this beautiful, powerful, iconic character. The portrayal of Maleficent's daughter couldn't have been done better by anybody, or the portrayal of the Queen of Hearts' daughter, Red, couldn't have done better by anybody. And I think that these friendships that Descendants have given us a greater appreciation for just how powerful of a franchise this is. I love seeing the friendships of Kylie Cantrell and Ruby Rose Turner and Mila Baker being put on display. I think we never see enough of it. I think we've never seen enough behind-the-scenes footage when it comes to the rise of Red, which is why I always loved looking on YouTube for footage of them behind the scenes, of how they shot music videos like Fight of Our Lives and Life is Sweeter When You Are. I think for the Life is Sweeter When You Are music video, I think 15 different characters were represented in that music video, and that's really incredible. So that just goes to show you, when you hear people talking about how we're seeing the final chapter of Descendants having been written, it should just go to show you just how much further this story could be pushed. This story could be pushed further than any imagination has ever been pushed, because we have characters from Aladdin, we have characters from The Princess and the Frog, we have characters from the Encanto coming into this. So there are so many different characters that you can tell a story based off of, and this is coming from somebody who studied folk literature all of his life. There is an origin tale for a troll, an origin tale for a goblin, so many different tales that could be told, and I just think that people are really just trying to discourage you from Descendants 6, Descendants 7, Zombie 7, 8, 9, 10. I think that you pass the torch to a new cast because you want to secure the future of the franchise. You don't pass the torch to somebody to stop making movies. So I think definitely there's going to be 3 or 4 more Zombies movies. I think definitely there's going to be 4 or 5 more Descendants movies, especially with all these new characters seeing their introduction into the franchise. Leomani Segura is not coming in to play Red's sister just for one portrayal of the character. If anything, if Kylie Cantrell and Mila Baker even go as far as to pass the torch to anybody, it's going to be to Leomani Segura, so her story can be told through the Descendants franchise. Even if Red, with or without Red, by Descendants 6, we will see a story unfold for Leomani Segura's character, Pink, who is, by the way, absolutely gorgeous and built like a machine. I mean, she is in the best shape of her life, so I think that because she's in the best shape of her life, it's not just to portray this character once. I think what will happen is we will see more of a story unfold for this with, far more beautiful music, a far more beautiful story, which is far from over. Please don't ever believe that the story is far from over, because it really is far from over. And we still have a long way to go with this. I think that the reason why people think this story should see its conclusion is because people are just tired of seeing it. I mean, I've even had comments from girls on this channel that say they need to stop making Descendants movies. But for every person who thinks that we should stop seeing Descendants movies be created, there are people out there that can't seem to get enough of it. There are people out there that are really obsessed with this. And I think that this is an experience that has brought us all together that we are never, ever going to forget. I know this is an experience that I will never forget, because this is an experience that's made me famous overnight. Before I was uploading videos about Descendants and Zombies, I was on a radio program where I was talking about Descendants and Zombies over 10 years ago, and my videos weren't getting half as many views as what they are now. They were being viewed, but they weren't being viewed as much as this. And people were subscribing, but not as much as this. And what it made me draw the conclusion for is that each and every one of you somehow, one way or another, made me famous overnight. And I can't thank you enough for having done that, because that's something that you never had to do. I can't believe that I've been made famous overnight because of Descendants and Zombies. This is a franchise that unquestionably I fell in love with, and I love creating videos for, and I will be back later on today with another podcast for you with my opinion on Chloe, with my opinion on Bridget, my opinion on Red, characters of the past, because I do miss the original cast, because this is what really brought it to life. I think that if not for Dove Cameron and the portrayal of the character Mal, I don't think the Descendants would have ever exploded the way that it did. I think that Sophia Carson's character Evie, with no backstory whatsoever, was a beautiful way of representing that character. I still think they have a long way to go with Descendants, and I think there's way more of a story that could be told. And there are a lot of fairy tale characters that are missing from this franchise, like the daughter or the son of Rapunzel, Hercules' son or daughter. We still had a long way to go with this, and so much more of a story to be told. But I think that I love Descendants so much, and I think that there's nothing wrong with being a fan of the Descendants franchise. I think we can get lost in this a little while longer, and I just want to be a part of that, because this is something really special that's holding a forever place in my heart. And I don't know where I'd be without Descendants. I honestly don't know where I would be without Descendants and all of you guys. I honestly don't, because your love and support, I can't even begin to put into words how appreciative I am of your love and support. And just knowing that you guys are here, I love you so much. I just want you to know that. I love you so much, and I love when you hit the subscribe button. And I don't think there's anything wrong with having said that. Because you make this YouTube channel that much stronger when you hit the subscribe button. You push this YouTube channel that much further out into the YouTube algorithm so that somebody can find these videos. Because how the YouTube algorithm works, for every 100 views that a video gets, it'll push a video further out into the YouTube algorithm. For every like, for every subscriber this YouTube channel puts up and accumulates, the videos get suggested. And it's really cool when, it's such an honor when somebody finds these videos. I know for a fact, without each and every one of you, I would not be here. I would not have the honor to be able to sit behind this podcast microphone and review Descendants of Zombies for as long as I have. It's been an incredible decade. It's been an experience that I know that I will never ever forget. I know these videos are a little bit more crazier than some people who review Descendants of Zombies, but if you notice about the Descendants of Zombies reviews that you will find online, nobody talks to you. Nobody gives you your opinion on Descendants or Zombies, or to even takes your opinion for what it's worth. They just review a reaction trailer for 5 minutes. They just talk about Descendants for 10 minutes, and that's it. They don't really go in depth with a review about Descendants or Zombies. And I just wanted to create something special for you. I even went as far as to move into a home near a soda plantation and a chemical plant that could explode. And this afternoon I have to head out because I have some things that I have to do. But I will make sure there is a video at different points throughout the day uploaded for you, because I've chosen you guys over everything else that I probably should have never chosen you over, and I don't regret having done that, because not even my girlfriend could make sense of why I love Descendants of Zombies as much as what I have. Each and every one of you have supported me more than perhaps anybody else that I have encountered or had a part of my life. And for that, I just want to say thank you from my heart to yours, because I honestly don't know where I would be without each and every one of you. I had a lot of stuff get in the way over the years, and I was unable to produce this show the way that I wanted to. But I think this show is definitely something special. It holds a special place in everybody's heart. And I just wanted you to feel special when you were watching these videos, as if every dream that you may have had could have come true. And I honestly mean that when I say that I don't really care what your dream is, if it's joining the volleyball team, if it's joining the cheerleading squad, track and field, swim team, whatever, joining the gym. I think you should go for it, because we see Kyle Control all the time in the gym lifting weights and wanting to be stronger. We've even seen Ruby Rose Turner go as far as to become stronger, and I think that more people should feel inspired to accomplish whatever your dream is. And just know, even though sometimes it seems like a dream is impossible, every dream can and will become a reality. Every dream will happen for you, and I never ever wanted to take that away from anybody. The release window for Descendants 5 Wicked Wonderland suggests now between now and summer 2026, and the release window for Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires is looking like now between now and 2027, mid-2027, with a release date still to be announced for the Zombies 5 franchise. But the thing is, I think that Zombies 5 is going to be probably one of the most predictable and really far out there movies of all time, with mermaids, pirates, and witches even being suggested to be a part of it. And I'm really excited to see where we go from here with the allocation of witches and pirates. And I don't know, this is just an incredible experience, and I've enjoyed every moment of having the honor of being able to sit behind this podcast microphone and to critique Descendants and Zombies in a way that it's been meant to be critiqued for a really long time. Because I think that a lot of people are just saying the negative and really putting out there the negative vibe of Descendants and Zombies, presenting a negative vibe, if you would, if I can say that. But I just wanted to take that away from everybody, whoever was a fan of Descendants and Zombies, because I know, reading down through the comments and forums, people are really obsessed with Descendants and Zombies. They are stronger, they are fearless, they don't care what anybody thinks of them. And I love that so much, because I've often believed that there is never enough kindness shown in this world, and there is never enough I love you said in this world. So because the words I love you are never said enough or heard enough, and because there is never enough kindness seen in this world, I think that every day presents us with an opportunity and that chance to tell somebody that we love them, even though they don't expect it. I think it will really brighten their day and really lift their spirits and make them stronger to take on their challenges they're faced with every day. And only you can make that happen, because they may not want to hear it from me, but I know they want to hear it from you. So you can make that happen for them every single chance and every single moment that you get, because you only have one life to live, and we have to make every moment count, because I've often said that time is the most precious commodity, and the time that we are allocated, we have to spend it with the ones we love and the ones we cherish and hold closest to us the most. I know that I love each and every one of you so much, because without you, this show would not be here. And it's really been an honor to be able to sit behind this podcast microphone and to have been the voice of Descendants and Zombies for what feels like an eternity. With that having been said, be kind to one another. Bye, YouTube. We will do this again in just a few hours from now. Be kind to one another, because life is sweeter when all of us are together.